So here we see Time Wizard. Maybe someone will play Time Wizard one day.
Ooh, and we start things off strong here by team with what is a draw standby. Molcharmi Aureliens in the main deck. So obviously Tempai, one of those decks that can easily afford it as they let their opponent go first.
Yeah, it's almost a bit of a giveaway what you're playing at that point, right? Because I don't think many players are putting Molcharmi in their deck when they want to go first. So maybe it's a kind of giveaway that you'll want to go second, and there is one deck on everyone's mind at the moment that wants to go second.
You know what else is a giveaway? When you win the battle and they let you go first.
That's a giveaway.
That's a big
as well.
giveaway, you know? So, now let's see how Aurelien is gonna navigate this turn. I guess the Chimera deck yeah, lines up interestingly against Tempai. The illusion effects, unironically, can be quite relevant. Yeah,
it's much more relevant than you think it is, because nowadays, you know, you see kind of a battle effect on a monster, you kind of think, okay, I'll think about that later, but you know, you kind of read the rest of it. Yeah. But I've seen feature matches where people just have an illusion monster on the field and it's just got no way to run it over, because yeah, obviously they can't be destroyed by battle. So yeah, it can be very frustrating to deal with. Here we see one of the cards which kind of pulls the deck together, the Evil Hero Sinister Necrom. You can banish it to special summon another Evil Hero from your deck, which is the Evil Hero Adjusted Gold. And it's got an effect, but I don't think its effect is super important. I think the main bit of the effect, of the text even, is that it is light, it is a fiend, and it is an evil hero, so you can special summon it and get straight into your Fiendsmith Requiem.
And you don't want to draw it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, I think the effect, you can discard it to add a Dark Fusion. So I think people are running, for this purpose, they're running a copy of Dark Fusion, a bit like a polymerization, and then it also prevents your monster from being targeted.
Oof, but we have another amazing card of the Magnum. I think it's the third time that we see like a Tempai deck opening it, so that's a great feeling.
Yeah, we were getting ahead of ourselves there, that you would get to banish the Necrom. It's going to get banished for you. So Aurelien's going to have to figure out where to go from here. Not give his opponent too many draws, but also set up something formidable to stop the Tempai player from running him over.
Okay, and we do have the Swords Knight, which is gonna make space for the Nightmare Apprentice here.
Nightmare Apprentice is a very, very powerful card. Can be special summoned from your hand by discarding any card and then adds another illusion from your deck to your hand. Gives you a nice level 6 body, which back in a recent memory would be allowing you to go up into a Beatrice, but not anymore.
Ooh, and now we are transitioning into the Fiendsmiths as well. Is there any response from team? Nope.
He's knocked himself off of an infinite impermanence possibility. So it'd have to be something like Effect Veiler or Ash Blossom.
And yeah, for now, just go straight into the Necro Equip, it seems. Yep. Still no response. Great news, at least. But no, there is a Nibiru. Wow.
I mean, this is just so clean for Tim, right? He's got the Molcharmi. He's drawn 2 cards. He's interrupted his opponent with the Magnum, which again is going to replace itself by special summoning a monster in the end phase. He's going to, you know, go into this turn having interrupted the opponent at least twice and having more cards than he started with to show for it.
Yeah, that's rough.
What a hand from Tim, because now here I think Aurelien is like forced to find alternative ways to continue playing if he has the chance. Otherwise, I think he would just pass. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I don't know what ways he does have to keep playing. He has the Fusion in his hand. I don't know how effectively you can use the Nibiru token. I don't think it has a useful type or attribute. for fusion summoning. I guess you can summon Guardian Chimera with it, unless Guardian Chimera needs to affect monsters. I don't know. I've not tried to summon it with a token before.
And I think we just set a Chimera fusion, but
it's a good hit.
Ooh, good one.
And now we are going to the end phase, so we are going to resolve the Magnamoth.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy, right? Tim's going to start at... Probably going to add the Genroku. This is such a powerful interaction. He's not even... Doesn't even need the Genroku.
So he has already maybe...
Maybe he has enough engine in his hand, yeah.
To go for the Druid Swarm, just securing something, another way of interrupting Aurelien.
Is there any thought to using the Druid Swarm in your opponent's end phase? I don't know what kind of cards can be used on your turn. There is obviously the... Well, it's not Birthmare. They all have very similar names. The Chimera, the king of the Phantom Beast. That can be used during your opponent's turn to banish it from the graveyard. Special summon an illusion, which, as you said, can be a little bit annoying if your opponent then has an illusion monster on the field during your battle phase. You have to figure out a way to destroy it that is not just attacking it.
Yeah.
But it is wind, so can't banish that.
I guess it can make sense to hold just because maybe if they target one with the Chimera, you can just change the Druid Swarm if it's a lighter dark. But
that is a beast, and I don't think it's a light or a dark. Maybe an earth? Aurelien, I guess, has to go now before the Sangan summoning.
Wow, also the Ash Blossom.
yeah. I mean, obviously this is the strength of Mucharmi Purulia, where you mess a little bit with your opponent, but you also get a lot more resources, and essentially allows you to play some of these interruptions for free, because they just get replaced by another card. And yep, now we get to resolve the last, I guess, line of interruption we had, which was that Chimera fusion that was brought back.
It's going to get to destroy 2 cards. Because 2 cards were used on the field. That token, Nibiru token, was helpful. And we're going to get the effect of Master Tau, the Enchanter. Another very powerful illusion monster. When it's sent to the grave, you can special summon any illusion monster back from the graveyard. So we're just going to get that Mirror Sword Knight back.
The Drusmore gets activated and prevents the Sword Knight being special summoned.
But this is big. All of the Tempais are off. So we need another way to access this OTK.
Yeah, it almost needs to be exactly the Sangan Kaiman, right? Because it's used as normal summon. Can't special summon Chandra from hand unless you have another Tempai. So I guess it has to be Sangan Kaiman in the battle phase to special summon a monster, or Genroku.
Which was though sniped by the king during the previous end phase, so he would need another copy. So does he have it?
No way.
Wow. Oh, and there is an Ash though. Wow, he did have a second copy, but an Ash from Aurelien might just save him and completely swing the duel upside down.
What a hand did Tim draw?
Yeah, I mean, 2 can play at this Ash game, and Tim's almost out of stuff now, right? He's only got 1 card left in his hand.
Is he just going, okay, SP. Obviously can't make the Erotic Spheres, so he's just gonna get rid of this Chimera, because there is no polymerization.
Yeah, it's quite a relevant effect that if you have a polymerization in the grave, Guardian Chimera can't be targeted, and when you put that on a monster with 3,000 attack, or 3,300 even, it can be quite intimidating to get rid of it.
And I mean, this is great news from Aurelien, honestly. SP is surely a good card, but in Tempai you expect to just lose the duel there, and yeah, if you have an impermanence, this might as well be it.
Can you not just attack with the SP there? Because he didn't use the effect to banish.
Yeah. I thought so, but
I mean, it's I think, you know, 1600 is not gonna make too much of a difference to the outcome of this game, but always worth getting in the extra damage. We don't need to play around Gauze. We're not playing Time Wizard format.
But yeah, I mean, here is what we can witness about the Chimera deck. Not only does he play with few cards, but like it has a lot of recursion effects, and so if you're managed to just hold your opponent off, you just get so much advantage the next turn. As you can see here, we are back to 4 cards in hand, and yeah, this is looking rough for Tim.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to see really what went wrong for Tim in this game. It looked like he had a really ideal start. I guess it just goes to show the power of the Chimera deck, right? He just, you know, he interrupted him with the Nibiru and the Magnamut, and got to replace all of those cards with the Molchami, and still...
I think maybe he fell victim of overconfidence, I want to say, because what you mentioned about the Druid's Worm, I think was extremely relevant. If he started things off with the Druid's Worm and then forced out the fusion, he would have played around the Chimera, the Guardian Chimera, and then kept you know, the Tempai as the last cards he would have played. I think that was probably the line that would have been a little more consistent. And I don't know, I guess he just didn't think that a single fusion spell could get his opponent this far. And look at us.
Yeah, I mean, Tempai is very powerful, but I mean, one does do a lot, but they are very vulnerable to interruption, so you always kind of want to save them right until the end. And here we're going to see a very flashy finish with the Chimera, the king of the illusion beasts or something. I can't remember the exact name. It's very big. You can summon it with
just the illusion beast,
ton of monsters, and for each material it has, it gets an extra attack during the battle phase, and it sets your opponent's monster that it battles with to 0. And remember, that monster cannot be destroyed. But we're going to see another Nibiru. But is there still a Sword Knight left in the grave? I think there might be. To negate this, I don't know.
Aurelien just trying to give Team a taste of his own medicine with this multiple attackers in the battle phase, but I'm not sure if there is another one.
I think there might have been, right? Because he summoned the Baphomet, which must have come off the Sword Knight, I think.
Doesn't look like
I feel like if there was, it would have just been like, bang, bang, go right straight.
No, there is. I saw it.
He summoned another one this turn. Maybe we don't know something about Sword Knight.
I guess, Nibiru.
Is there something we don't know about it? This just negates a monster effect while you control a... Does this not count as a Chimera? You need to control like a Chimera, the king of mythical beasts or something like that, right? Or maybe you can only... You can use both the effects in a turn for Sword Knight, right?
Oh no, yeah, it's only the flying mythical beast that allows you to use the effect.
The illusion beast not count as the flying mythical beast?
No.
Because a couple of the other ones do.
Does it? Yeah, it does.
So Aurelien has to be careful here. If he's used the effect of Big Wing Baphomet, then you can only summon fusion monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, which is quite restrictive when you'd like to be summoning some Fiendsmiths. So it seems to be in a bit of a top-decking war situation now.
Yeah, seems like it is. And I mean, if you gotta give a favorite, it is the Tempai deck when you're top decking. A lot of really good draws.
And here we go.
Let's see. What a way to start things off, honestly. I mean, these duelists are both sitting on a very comfortable score, because the draw guarantees you tiebreakers to make it to the top cut, but they have to win out. So you can see how much this duel matters for both of them. And yeah, definitely a tough back and forth game one, but no Tempai normal summon. We're just entering battle phase.
Oh, he's got to have a good card in his hand, because if you just leave your opponent with an Engraver, it doesn't look like much, but it'll soon turn into hundreds more monsters all by itself.
It's a face down.
It's a face down.
Impermanence, I would guess, since he put it in the same column.
I was thinking maybe Blasting Fuse, but maybe Impermanence makes more sense, you know.
Fair enough. We're thinking...
Yeah, we still have the Chimera in the grave, I think. Oh no, we don't. That looks like it's banished. Oh, it's the Baphomet. I can summon back the Chimera.
Again, the recursion effect from the Chimera deck. Not quite the top deck that Team 04. And now we are back into Aurelien turn with a lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is extremely powerful for Aurelien. Go into the Requiem, get another copy of Engraver.
This is amazing. You can now force out the impermanence easily.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to see how any one trap card can get in the way, short of something like Rivalry of Warlords. I don't know if you put in your main deck for Tenpai.
Yeah, this is just incredible from Aurelien. Last turn was a bit shaky, but we managed to keep on playing, and now we are again in the lead after 16 minutes since the start of the round.
Yeah, one of the things that you might like playing the Tenpai deck is the rounds are quite short and sweet often, so...
Yeah, and team has seen enough, and well played by Aurelien, honestly.
Yeah, tough game. Probably one of the, I guess, more back and forth ones we have seen all weekend. But in the end, it is Aurelien who prevails with his Chimera deck. And this is where the mind games start, because is team just gonna do the same? Is he gonna make Aurelien go first? Is he gonna adjust? And especially for Aurelien, how is he gonna side? Is he gonna side for going first or for going second? And I see some spiciness, I can tell you that much. I saw a card that we used to play back in 2005, Time Wizard, which is the good old King Tiger Wangu. Wow, okay.
That is a lot of fun. Can you get to it, maybe just with your engine? Because it is a beast monster. I'm guessing it's in there for the U-Bell deck.
Yeah, is he playing anything like...
You can summon it back from the graveyard fairly easily, right, with your Baphomet. Not Baphomet, your Chimera, the King of the Phantom Beasts. But I don't know how you, like, get it there nice and easily. But I'm here to see it. But I don't think we're going to see it today. I don't think it's here for Tenpai. I think it's probably specifically there to deal with all of those pesky zero-attack U-Bell monsters. You know, they keep summoning more of them when they're destroyed. But I guess if they all get destroyed...
That would be interesting. But he does have a few good cards for this matchup specifically. Most importantly, Dimensional Barrier, Cosmic Cyclone, and a pesky little continuous trap card in the form of there can be only one.
Yeah, this has got to be very annoying for Tenpai players, especially when you're often allowing your opponent to go first. Then you have to deal with whatever continuous traps they throw at you. So... you're going to be dealing with stuff like this, anti-spell fragrance, all day long.
Yeah, but on the other side, we could expect him just to go second again and adjust a little bit. His side deck is obviously a mix of going first cards from when you expect your opponent to let you start, like the Heat Wave, but I would be shocked if he decided to go first here once again. But without further ado, our duelists are done with their side decks, so let's find out who will be the winner of Game 2. Here they are. Let's see this decision. Is Aurelien going first? No, it's team and it's the Heat Wave. Wow.
What do you do when you cannot summon any monsters? Wow.
You know what you do?
You said monsters?
And Chimera Fusion. And that gets you there.
That's true. And you said there can be only one.
Yep. So, Heat Wave making an appearance. And let's see what's Aurelien plan to fight back to stay in this. Because if he doesn't, we could have a very quick game 2.
Do you think Heat Wave, the dinosaur, is the same dinosaur as Cold Wave? It's just a dinosaur that's having a very bad time. I was just looking at it. Do you reckon it is? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, he's having a rough day.
Just never noticed it, honestly.
It is.
Well, it's obviously friends with Cold Wave, right? And it's got the same effect. I don't. They both seem like an equally bad time.
What would you prefer?
What, the Heat Wave or the Cold Wave?
I like
Maybe the cold wave, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all on that side. Yeah. But we do have a very, very impressive one. I do not see that there can be... Nope.
Yeah, and the Chimera fusion, I think, has to be used during the main phase. So once you've made it to your battle
Yeah,
phase,
that's it.
Are we
you're
done?
pretty safe. Is this just a Tempai? Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Let's go to game 3. Let's see if that is the case.
Because Aurelien is playing Impermanence and Book of Eclipse, but I don't...
Slow rolling a Mirror Force.
It's taking damage. I guess technically the barrier could still be there, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only card I can imagine saving him in this spot.
Do you almost get there through a barrier?
It is barrier. Makes sense. It was the only one I was thinking that could at least keep him in this game.
You can chain though and get an extra attack.
Yeah, I thought he did. Like there is no way you preemptively just...
No, but you can chain another Tempai monster, right? And then...
Of course. But he didn't.
He didn't?
And I think you can see Tim shaking his head. I think he just realized. Yeah. Yeah, you can see Tim being quite disappointed with himself. And yeah, now at least he gets to, you know, deal some more damage, make some erratic spheres.
How big is the Genroku? And the Fadra? I feel like, was this enough damage if you... It's 0, yeah. It would have been quite a bit of damage if he'd chained there.
Do you still attack with it? You should, right?
I mean,
just to, you know.
Just show him who's boss.
Exactly.
I mean, once you've got over 3 attacks, it's not super important. I mean, once the dimensional barrier is there, it doesn't matter anyway, right? Because you can't use any of your synchros.
And unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, if you're Aurelien, team doesn't get there and we'll get another turn for the Chimera deck. We are going for Striker Dragon SP, I guess. Maybe. Makes sense. Let's find out what the last card for Aurelien was.
Another barrier?
That wouldn't be ideal. He's thinking about it. Cosmic, yeah. Cosmic... oof. I think you might as well hit the face down, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sangan's summoning, as powerful as it is, not going to do a huge amount on your turn.
And, oh, I think he's glad that he did, because that was a barrier of his own. Wow. Now we get to use the Sangan, just getting some more resources for next turn. And, yeah, Aurelien is still in a tough spot. The barrier would have completely sealed it. But
I'm thinking, like, do you really want Tempai monsters in your hand rather than disruptive cards?
Depends what he's got, because maybe he's just got a couple of engine cards and you just want to discard one within your deck. It seems like he's thinking a bit. Let's see.
Yeah, he added the Fadra, right, which is kind of an important resource to have in your deck. Presumably only runs 2 copies, and one's already been used. What's gone on here?
Hold up.
Yeah, you can only special
locked
summon
into
dragon.
dragons. Yeah. Oh dear.
Oof.
I mean, to some extent, this doesn't make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the SP banish, but like that Cosmic is 100% going to hit the dimensional barrier at the end of the turn. So maybe you'd even rather have the Chandra in play than the SP. Got to watch out for being locked into your dragon monsters.
And he gets rid of an Ibiru. Wow. bold choice. And now in the end phase, we should expect the Cosmic to still come down. Yeah, as you mentioned.
Almost like Tim helping Aurelien there, like saying, well, you've got to use the Cosmic Cyclone. So now you know what my dimensional barrier is, where it is.
It's quite possible he wouldn't have flipped it. Yeah. Still tough, not impossible, but like the erratic sphere. Oh no, if that's what we are starting with. Never mind.
Oh really?
Wow.
So the heat wave was not even needed, I guess.
Into his labyrinth strategy.
I guess, yeah. Just use the sphere to get some more resources.
This is what I think. Surely you want the Fadra in your deck right now. Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, summon a Magnumite. It's pretty useful. Get a Genroku out if you have another one. You can pick it up from your grave. I don't know if you get the effect to summon it if you add it from your grave to your hand. I feel like it probably does. Most cards are worded like if it's added to your hand except by drawing it.
You can still special summon it. Yeah, this is a huge. The only card I can see somewhat keeping him in this would be the There Can Be. But yeah, still would be a rough spot. And we need to flip it now.
Yeah, right now.
So no.
Well, you could still flip it now. You still got the chance. Just need to do it before your opponent gets a Synchro monster in play that has more than 2,200 attack points.
Yeah, because the Magnamut is not really threatening.
It looks threatening, but yeah, you got to remember it's still 0-0 because of the seal.
There is a book, but this doesn't do anything. Because we are actually...
It's a mind game.
I guess so.
You definitely cannot flip those monsters up again.
Yeah. But I guess Team does respond to it, so...
Oh, maybe it's the battle phase, actually.
No way. He activated the fuse spell.
I mean, you can't chain to Synchro in the main phase. So it must have been the battle phase. Maybe he just activated the field spell and then went to his battle phase.
I guess so.
Like, once you've activated the field spell, though, don't you normally want to make the level 10?
Yeah, because he didn't even normal summon. Like, I don't know, I guess. Interestingly enough, he now goes and try for a different push. I see a Veiler. Not quite sure what the last card in hand is, but he's just gonna attack with everything, and that gets him there. Team ties the score up 1-1. Well, this is Tempai things, I guess. The bold decision by Team was going first, I gotta say. He has cards like Dimensional Barrier and obviously that Heat Wave, which got him there. Maybe got a little too excited, as mentioned, with that Dimensional Barrier. He could have still chained one of his other monster and probably got there that turn. But regardless, now we are back in the mind games. And I don't know, Aurelien can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know what I feel like actually. When you're playing Tenpai, maybe I just haven't played against it enough to know what is best. It also depends on your opponent. Like, are they going to predict whatever you're going to do? I mean, it feels safest just to go first and just try and do your own thing and not have to worry about your opponent siding in any nonsense like heat waves and dimensional barriers. You just say, I'm going to go first. There's only so much you can do to me. I can still draw my dimensional barriers. There can be only one. And just and get to do all of my first turn combos.
I mean, it did work in game one. So, I mean, you can just try and replicate the same thing. So, I do see Aurelien just going first.
Yeah, I'm thinking after game, well, like, the hand for Tim was almost like a pick your own starting hand. And Aurelien still won. So, if you're thinking, like, well, that's the best my opponent can throw at me, then why not go first and try and do it again?
Yeah. I definitely would say so, and also, as mentioned, both being on an X1-1 record, you really want to be, I think, the better of your fate. You don't want to make one of these decisions where you let your opponent go first and then regret it for the rest of your Yu-Gi-Oh career. So we will see whether that decision will be, but I think our duelists are almost shuffling up, so let's find out who will be the winner of this round. Oh. I think, yep, team is gonna go first. Let's see if the mind game.
This is where you smile and activate Heat Wave, isn't it? Oh, no.
Not quite, not quite. So sigh of relief from Aurelien.
Where you smile and set dimensional barrier.
But start things off very well with the one summoning, honestly, and also so a pot of prosperity. So I think Team Zen looks very good, actually. And,
yeah, lots of one-offs and the good ones.
I'm wondering how powerful the Quackamoo Drago is against... I feel like they have a lot of darks, but they also have a lot of non-darks and lights, so got to keep your eyes open. Here comes the prosperity, and if there's any tricks up Tim's sleeve, then hopefully this will fish them out.
Thinking about 3 or 6.
Yeah, we've seen a few for 3 this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, why not just play Pot of Duality?
True. Yeah, it's going for 6. Makes sense. You really want to find something to stop your opponent from playing. And let's see if we find anything. Okay. Not the greatest, I gotta say, but we do go for a draw.
Aurelien, like, probably looking at his hand right now saying, okay, what do I do?
Ash Blossom Veiler from Aurelien, a lot of hand traps.
Could he not have just discarded the Chandra and then normal summoned the Fadra?
You're right.
Kept his terraforming in hand. I mean, terraforming in hand not super helpful, but you can just discard it next turn for the Sangan summoning if you get to that point.
Okay, so we start things off with an Infinite Impermanence. We don't need to do it right away, but let's see.
I guess it means you know you're going to get the Sangan summoning for next turn, but
yeah,
I guess you don't need to summon your monster now, but if you are going to, you will get summon maybe a Quackamoo Drake.
Thinking about Ash, wow, okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I like this here. Like, why let your opponent get a Mag or a Quackamoo Drago?
Yeah.
What's Ash going to do that's better than that?
But still a 2-for-1, which doesn't feel great for Aurelien. And now we are discarding a Veiler. Okay. Once again, we start things off, and oof, unfortunately, the Nightmare Apprentice is gonna be stopped by the Infinite Impermanence of team.
This is the... I was going to be the one and only search. This is the downside of Drawn Lockbird. When you're low on resources, you know, it's kind of a conflict here, right? Because you've had to use that Impermanence now, but the Droll, less useful. But it seems to have done the trick.
Wow.
Anyway, is that an Imperm going face down, maybe? And
thinking about setting both, even though it does. Okay. And yeah, this looks rough. No Chimera cards at all for Aurelien. Just a bunch of interruptions, and this is yeah, this is just what the Tempai deck wants. Once you set up the field spell, those don't matter, and as you can see, that draw just goes into the bin. So
who needs a draw? Very hard to interrupt here with the Sangan summoning. The only card that could flip this duel on its head would be that there can be only one.
Yeah, once again. And we might, just like in the previous round, have a comeback from 1-0 to 1-2 for the other player. Just goes to show you how tense these last few rounds of Swiss are going to be for all of our duelists remaining to secure a spot in the top card.
So I guess we are in the battle phase now, because it looked like that was kind of picked up and summoned all in one motion.
Should be it. And I think he's only holding a card. We are attacking. Yeah, no responses for now from Aurelien. I thought he had another impermanence, but I might be wrong. And for now, we're just summoning back. We can go into another play.
Maybe a dimensional barrier would keep Tim at bay for a turn.
But we are in the same spot as before.
We are.
Yeah, I think Tim, after shaking his head, now has realized that he can just, you know, chain.
Yeah, but it won't do as much this time round,
yeah.
right? Because I don't think you can destroy the Nightmare Apprentice as an illusion, so even with a Synchro Monster, but it doesn't look like that is going to be the case.
And there is I think it's an impermanence.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it feels very hard to get good value out of the impermanence here, right? Your opponent can just chain to it to Synchro again, but if you don't, like, when are you going to use it?
I guess just get some damage in there. 9 minutes remain.
Here we go. Maybe we're going to see a Transcendent Tempai Dragon to turn off any potential interactions.
No, doesn't seem like that's the case. Instead,
it's nice to see all the different kinds of dragons.
Blade Dragon.
The Blade Dragon.
Quibelt, the Blade Dragon, coming down and allowing him to destroy the Nightmare Apprentice.
Is this Infinite Impermanence now able to save? I guess not. Okay, that's the game.
Not quite. This might be it, and it is. He did have the impermanence. Unfortunately, not enough. And Team takes the match. Well, round 10, this was it. They really gave it their best to try and secure a spot into the top cut, but in the end, after a long and hard-fought match, it is Team who prevails. Game 1, it looked like he drew into the, I guess, custom end that you can pick with Tempai, but still, his opponent managed to fight back and show us why the Chimera strategy is valid. But unfortunately, we didn't really see much of it later on.
Yeah, in that third game, you've got a feel for him because, you know, he drew 6 cards going second and unfortunately was unable to push through that one copy of Infinite Impermanence on his Nightmare Magician. Yeah. I guess it's just one of those things, like Tempai is that deck that will say if your deck is not performing up to scratch, I will just say thank you very much and, you know, run you over in 10 minutes.
Calling.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that check on all the decks in the format. You've got to keep them honest. You've got to say, you know, you can't do any nonsense against Tempai. If you let your guard down for a second, it's over.
No, especially because, like, I think that in game 2, after the heat wave was activated, I feel like if that was not activated anyways, like, I think he just said 3 or 1. So it was, you know, at the end of the day, I think it was very unfortunate for Aurelien. Also in game 3, as you mentioned, I think it was a brave move to let your opponent start, especially after seeing what happened in game 2.
Yeah.
But like, we have to say that Tim started with the summoning, the prosperity, and that says it all, I think.
Yeah, but most importantly is after looking at the ends, I'm pretty sure he was glad he did because he completely bricked on it. And, you know, the Apprentice, we don't know if it was the 6th card, but even if it wasn't, it would have been met by that impermanence. And I think he didn't have much going on regardless. So unfortunately, sometimes that's how it goes. It's a shame that it happens basically 2 games in a row after you have won game 1. But still, congratulations on the run. Going 7-1-1 is no joke. And now he'll try his best from what I think only, you know, X-Choose can make it as the worst record. But this gives the team a match point. Essentially, he will be walking into round 11, and we'll probably ask him about that. And he has a chance to advance to the top cut, whether he wins the last round. And I'm sure he'll try his best to just bring, you know, Tempai as a deck that will be represented in the top cut. But I think, obviously, it's still tough. As we've mentioned, we'll try to bring you guys what is the representation of the decks and the countries that are left later on, but it looks like the competition is as rough as ever, and it's gonna be very difficult to make it to the top 32.
Yeah, I mean, as we've mentioned before, so we've got just shy of 2,000 players this weekend, so it's just short of that barrier of 2,048, I think it is, in order to go to the top 64. So it's almost as many people as you can have in a tournament without having a top 64, which means it's almost as hard as it can be to make the top cut.
Yeah, it was as back in the days when we were playing, basically, like if you think about it, no? Like there were some YCSs in which sometimes X2 was not even enough. Like I remember like 1900, you know, YCSs players, for example. And so the competition is very high. You really want to win the last round, and yeah, it's tough. I mean, your nerves, you know, can play you some jokes sometimes, and I mean, almost one step away from the top 32. Really looking forward to see the percentages of decks, especially because, like, I think yesterday was more than 40% others. So it's
yeah. And most importantly, I think we saw that like the fifth, I think, most represented deck was on 3% or something like that. So like it's tough. That means that there are a lot of different decks, and obviously we'll try and show you guys your favorites. But just as a final reminder, before we head on to the winners interview, for the last round there will be something special left to the other teams of commentators, because the winner, the top of Swiss for YCS Lille, we get their hands on an oversized copy of Another vs Solaria. So a great prize to just, you know, shake off some nerves before Top Cut, I guess. And that's a great way to end, you know, at least the Swiss portion of the tournament. So thank you guys once again for being with us. This was round 10, but we have one more remaining rounds of Swiss. But before we leave for that, we have Tim, the winner of round 10. So let's hear it from him and Ed.
Thank you very much, Marcello. Yes, I am joined by Tim right now, who's just won that round 10 feature match here at YCS Lille. And we, you know, 3 games with that Tempai deck. How are you feeling, Tim? Oh, hang on, I think we need to turn your mic on. There we go, yeah.
But a bit exhausted, because it was a pretty close match, and yeah.
Talk to us about what it's like doing a match like that, because have you done a feature before, Tim?
Just small ones, so not on a major event.
Okay.
So I was a bit nervous.
Does that affect how you play, do you think?
Yeah, I forgot to Genroku. That locks me to dragons, but it was still fine. Good for me. But my opponent played pretty well as well. So, yeah.
Tell us about Tempai. Why did you pick Tempai for this format?
So basically, I had not that much time to prepare, and it's a pretty easy deck to play, and pretty strong because you have so much space for non-engine, and the engine itself is strong as well. That's why I picked it.
Well, excellent, and obviously it's piloted you to victory here. You are now 8-1-1, is that correct?
So I must win the last round, and I hope I do well.
Well, absolutely. I guess we'll see. What was the loss and the draw against?
I lost round 1 against Mathieu Bricard, the French back-to-back national champion, again on Fire King. And I drew against a Jubel deck.
Okay.
It was my own mistake, but it happens.
So against Chimera, that kind of deck, are you, when you see what it is and you figure out that it's Chimera, you pretty competent? Do you reckon you know exactly how to pilot around it, or how well do you know Chimera when you're up against it?
I played it myself in YCS Dortmund.
Okay, so you know it well enough to be able to play around it.
I know it well, but it changed a lot with the Fiendsmith stuff.
True.
But I'm pretty confident by interrupting the deck. That's why I implemented I don't know the name.
Well, we're going to talk about that with Nadir in just a moment. You can go through play by play. Lastly, you've only got one more round of Swiss. Are you confident you can make it to Top Cup?
I'm confident. I try my best.
Well, that's all we can ask for, Tim. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let you go and join Nadir there, so you can put your microphone down here and you can head off and go join him. But thank you very much, Tim. Congratulations. Again, we've got more of these play-by-plays coming. Nadir is going to sit there with Tim, and they're just going to go through and talk about some of the interesting plays that we saw there in a 3-game Tempai versus Chimera match. So without any further ado, just going to hand you straight over to Nadir and Tim. Nadir, take it away. Let's see a play-by-play.
Welcome back, everyone. Hi, I'm here joined with our feature match Victor. Tim, well done. You've made it this far, and I guess just one more round to go, right?
Yeah, one more round to go. I will try my best to win the last round. I mean, it's not easy because I was on feature, and I'm playing Tenpai, so...
Well, you still did pretty well, I think. I suppose, first of all, I want to ask you a little bit about your deck. So in order to build Tenpai, I think naturally there's this inclination, as you mentioned, to just have this sort of small package of engine pieces with all your Tenpais and play all this non-engine. Any reason you decided to go with like what appears to be more like a hand trap heavy version rather than things like Raigekis and Dark Holes like we saw, for example, at the European Championship?
Yeah, I think the hand trap version I played is much better the closer you get to the top cut. Because if people know you're playing Tenpai and with a breaker build, they are more likely to send you first. And with a breaker build, you basically have just seals. And with the hand trap version, I have seals plus my non-engine, so I'm more likely to win even going first. And I think using the hand traps as interrupts is a bit more skillful than just throwing board breakers around.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's a bit more fun.
Well, make sure you don't hit on Seal's Pass. You know, I'm just saying that's a good pass.
Seal's Pass is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it.
Let's take a look at clip number 1 here. We're going to look at this really intense sort of long game 1, actually. So we had the Nibiru, a Magnamut, and the Perulia resolve here. And I suppose it was enough to make your opponent pass. You're quite familiar with Chimeras, so at this point, are you feeling pretty confident, despite the fact that they might have some resources in the graveyard?
Yeah, I don't know. The deck changed a lot with the Fiendsmith stuff, and I thought if I bestial the hero out of the grave, that brings him into engine because the hero that he summons is a light fiend, so he can instantly go into Requiem. If I banish that out, maybe I stopped access to the Fiendsmith stuff. It didn't work, but it was still fine, I guess. And then I lost because I had not that much engine left in my deck. So yeah.
So I think what happened was there was a Druid's Worm that you searched out, right?
Yeah, I searched Druid's because he searched the Diabells. That locks me out of activating spells, so it shuts down Kaiman. And it even can pop my field spell if I set it. That's why I searched the Druid's to take that one out of the grave.
Because I think we were kind of concerned with like the Mirror Sword Knight that was still in the graveyard that could bring itself back, but I suppose, you know, it's kind of like, catch-22. You have to sort of deal with both of them, but you have one Druid's Worm. Let's take a look at clip number 2 here. So still in game 1, this is the point where I was actually just mentioning. So we've got, you've established a field here. You've had a Chimera just about to be resolved, and there's also an Ash on Kaiman. Walk us through your thought process here. I mean, does this still feel like a bad position, or how is it looking for you?
Yeah, I thought that I'm gonna lose it, except he misplays. He didn't, so I scooped it after he played into the nib and using the Codal. Yeah, so it was a really bad position because my Kaiman got ashed.
Yeah, so and then, you know, there's the third clip here that we can go into just now and take a look at. It's almost like a counter Nibiru that comes down.
Yeah.
So despite you hitting him and, you know, taking out all of his resources, you then bring out your own Nibiru and, well, I guess it becomes a bit of a top deck battle. So what's going through your mind at this point?
Yeah, I hoped that he plays into Nib, but I think he continues playing with the Fiendsmith stuff after that. So I knew that I probably lose this, but it wasn't enough time left, so I tried to play it out and maybe top deck a nice card. Didn't work, but yeah.
All right, so moving on to game number 2 here. I thought this was really interesting. For clip number 4 here, we're going to take a look at the start of game number 2. You chose to go first?
Yeah.
Strange decision, unless you specifically draw Heatwave. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, basically, post side, I play like 6 to 9 going first cards in my side deck against specific matchups. Like I have 6 auto-win cards against fusion decks and stuff like that, against Chimera, for example. So basically, I just try to go first, post side, most of the time, and draw one of them.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Heatwave just instantly passes their turn, or the D-Barrier likewise makes them pass their turn. Let's go look at the next moment here at 10, at clip number 5 here. So you actually get counter D-Barriered here as you progressed onto your turn 3. I think you should have perhaps maybe chained the Tenpai here?
I forgot to chain the second one to Synchro. Then it would be game in this turn. because I was a bit nervous.
Yeah.
And a few seconds after I said, yeah, it's fine.
You probably realized maybe we should change synchro. Yeah.
I should have changed it to bring out the synchro, then it would be game.
Yeah, no, for sure. Moving on here to the next clip, we have a Book of Eclipse resolving.
Yeah.
This is an awkward situation because you've managed to like you miss out on game here, but then you have the Sangan Kaiman follow-up. So you're still in a pretty good spot, right?
Yeah, I knew I win this, except for you have the second Eclipse, because he was just on 2200 life points.
Yep.
So every name with the Striker Dragon wins me the match. And for my luck, he had nothing set in his back row to protect his life points. So I defeat him in this situation.
Yeah, made it look pretty simple despite the misstep with the D barrier. Let's take a look at game number 3, I suppose. We'll go into, I suppose, an interesting dynamic to talk about is people, I think, tend to let Tenpai go first.
Yeah.
Do you think if I see you activate a heat wave, I feel like maybe I'm just going to go first regardless, right? Like, what's your logic there, do you think? Or if you were playing against a Tenpai player?
Yeah, so basically, against fusion decks, most of the time I let in the D barriers. They're pretty great.
Yeah.
I thought that he will start because Chimera is like an FTK deck with the Diabells and discard and end phase combo. I was
so did you side for going second? Did you side for going first?
I thought he will start.
Okay.
So I mainly sided for going second.
Okay.
But I kept in the Drolls. Droll is pretty good against the Chimera matchup. And one barrier, I play Thrust, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's look at the final clip. We'll skip over the next one since I suppose we've just talked about the Droll there. This is, I suppose, just the end of the game. You have managed to essentially, pull off that semi-turn skip, and even though he has an infinite impermanence, it just doesn't do anything, right? And of course you have the Sangan summoning up, limited to 1, searched out, and yeah, it's just easy game from here, I suppose.
Yeah, if you use Imperm on my Q-build, where I popped his Illusion Monster, I could have went, I guess I had a Kaiman in my hand, could have went into the Trident and just OTK with like 6k 3 times over his monster, and it would be enough as well.
Yeah, multiple different paths to find the game, and in fact, in 3 duels here, we didn't even see a Trident Dragon, so
no.
I suppose we were just playing with the just the Tenpai. So, Tim, well done. Honestly, that was a great match, and I think you showed us mostly, how to navigate through such a situation like that, especially against Chimera, which is a deck that you're not going to really even see potentially for an entire tournament, and yet you still managed to navigate through that quite well. Any particular decks that you are not looking forward to playing? I assume you're relatively prepared for Yubel. Yeah. Anything that you feel like you have a bad matchup against, or?
I really want to dodge Labyrinth.
Okay.
The matchup is horrible.
All right.
And Runic decks.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about Runic?
Yeah, Runic is okay. I played one Runic White Forest.
Yeah. Activate Slumber, and then that's...
the matchup is hard.
Okay.
But it's beatable. But the Labyrinth matchup is most likely unbeatable, except for I have Ash and she has just 1 engine trap. Then I most likely win, but...
keep him off the engine, basically. But yeah, Yubel should be pretty good,
fine,
ready for that. All right, well done again. And
you
just have one more to make it through to the top cut, only top 32 this time round. So good luck, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of you in the future. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us here. This has been your feature analysis. We're going to be back with the next round, the last and final round of Swiss. And of course, there's going to be the prize of the oversized card for the presentation for the victor of Swiss out this round.